Yeah. Woo. Let's go. Untamed. Wake
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. First guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
It's happening now.
Not what it seems. This culture's not your reality. You better unplug or be a casualty.
Shout out to Sherman Wells.
And the drugging and boozing is keeping us.
Sherman, you fool.
You gotta spread the love and stop hating. Then rearrange these front pages.
Trying to spread the love and stop hating on a Wednesday, November the 5th, 2025. Welcome. Appreciate you guys getting up early with us on this hump day. It is hump day, right?
Hump day.
I got the day right this time. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. The 5th.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
Yes, sir.
One down. Pops gives us a good Wednesday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Pops' favorite day of the week. So yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. How's things going? Are they voting out there? Did you make it to the polls, Pops?
What's going on out there in Vegas? That's a good question because seemed to be a little bit of a sweep in the country.
We'll talk about it.
But Precious was so excited she couldn't hardly sleep last night.
Man, we gotta talk to Precious. She's been heavy on my mind, man. There's been a lot going on, a lot of finger pointing towards Democrats. What you got to say about it?
That is a good question, especially right now when seemingly Democrats kind of had their days, had their day yesterday in a big way. So, yeah, we'll definitely jump into it. But good morning to you. I see RG giving us a morning, y'all. What's happening? Lady Keither said, "What's up, Wednesday?" Good question. Sean McCarthy, morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. And Michelle Moreno giving us a good morning. Appreciate you guys getting up early with us this morning. How you doing over there, buddy? How you feeling?
Man, I could have used a couple more winks this morning, man. I'm a little tired dealing with some things over the night. Having to address some emergencies, but all is well. We're here. Definitely looking forward to today's conversation. Hoping you feel better, man. I can kind of hear you struggling over there, man.
Yeah, man. Congested, definitely congested. So excuse the look at my face and sound of my. Yeah, I feel like that old Alka-Seltzer commercial. I'm miserable. I gotta plop something so I can go ahead and get it straight. But yeah,
plop,
man,
plop fizz.
Plop fizz, man. But we're here, like you said. We're gonna get through it, just have to deal with it and get through it because we got lots to talk about today. We also have a special guest coming in today.
Yeah.
We haven't talked to this brother in a little minute. Michael Lee is coming in, Nebraska Democratic Party Black Caucus. Good day for him to come in. Day after a little bit of a sweep happened last night with the Democrats that we'll be getting into. But in the meantime, between time, Marlon Harrison giving us a good morning, First Sky family, and happy Wellness Wednesday. Trying to be well.
Trying.
Man.
As well.
Sean McCarthy said, "Congratulations, Georgia, for electing its first Democrat to a public service commission spot in 25 years since 2000." Okay,
yeah, man. It's been a lot of chiming up about that Georgia power. Apparently, the bills have been going up. There's been 6 increases on the bills over the last year here in Georgia.
I don't know if you've been paying attention to your OPPD bill here, but same. These data centers are killing us, and it's going to be even more. Man. And it is really going to be some chiming up. I think that next season, follow the money season, I think there's going to be some people following the money when it comes to OPPD because when they showed me them salaries, I was like, oh, people are about to get upset when the bills go up, and the bills are going up.
Man, there's going to be a couple pockets we're going to have to look into next season, man. It's going to be very, very interesting. A lot of money moving around. Yeah.
They're going to be like, "First Guy Omaha, get your hand on my pocket."
Man.
Yeah, we're going to find out what's in there. Judy Prinzler gives us I am here. Happy Wednesday. What's happening? Heather Williams says, "Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you." And Anthony Rogers Wright coming in hot. Zoran.
Okay.
That's what's up. We will definitely talk about it. He makes history. Brother Mamdani makes history as New York City's first Muslim and millennial mayor.
Man.
I forgot about the millennial part, too. That's what's up.
Young guy, young cat.
Yeah. Shout out to Essence Magazine, by the way. I didn't realize they were. Yeah, there was some things out again. That's what's up. But yeah, so this is history made. I don't know if you guys heard his speech, but yeah, laid it down and what they left out of there too. Democratic socialist. which he was really emphasizing as well. Like, and it just hit me when he said it. I was just like, it's a bold move in the climate that we got right now. Call yourself a socialist around here.
Yeah. I saw some people on Friends Up trying to chime up. Like, is this a socialist group? What's going on here? Like, yeah. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, man. Speaking of which, I will say, yeah, we're getting an exceptional amount of trolling going on the Friends of page. I'm spending double, even triple the time weeding stuff out.
I'm seeing them too, man. Yeah.
Coming through, right?
Yeah.
Big time. Anthony Rogers, right? 2 Democrats who ran on an anti-data center program. That's what's up. He said, excellent organization in Georgia. Big up to lead locally and Black Voters Matter in Georgia. So yeah. Organization's doing some good.
Yeah, and shout out to Cameron. There's the Black Voters Matter, Black Votes Matter connection. She, went down there, was talking to the brother.
That's what's up. What's up. Says Zoran overperformed in Black Hoods to boot. Okay, good to know. Marlon Harrison says JD Vance's brother lost badly in Ohio. Yeah, we'll be talking about it because it is kind of significant. And like I said, the first thing I saw was Precious McKesson, who was so excited, could hardly sleep. Really kind of brought it home in her post that there was a sweep that kind of happened last night. And I got up this morning, listened to some newscasts, and a lot of people were saying, this is the people who are speaking out against what's going on here. They letting it be known. So, us, the solution ain't going to come from one party, but it is significant that the sweep happened last night. We'll be talking about it. We'll get into it.
Word.
Yeah. But in the meantime, between time, really appreciate everybody jumping in this morning. Do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook, especially, and please, again, like I'm dealing with some sinus pressure and all that stuff. So please bear with me. And I can already feel I'm struggling to keep my sentences straight.
Cut the brother some slack.
And the allergy medicine hadn't even kicked in yet. So yeah.
I guess at this time would it be good to announce Friday though? Is that?
Oh yeah, good idea. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
there will be no show on Friday. I will be out of town and I will not be able to participate there. So I apologize for that. But this can't be avoided this time around. So no show on Friday. I'll put some documentation out to remind you guys. Spread the word. No show on Friday, but we'll be back Monday. Hopefully with another senator cipher with a different senator I've been working on here for a little while. So yeah, we'll jump into it. But yeah, no show on Friday, and I appreciate everybody's patience with that. We are coming up to the end of the season almost, though, really. So look at that. We usually shut it down around December 15th every year. Take that month off and then come back January 15th for the new season of Follow the Money, which is going to be interesting season. But coming up on the break. What are you guys doing for the break? This is also, I've been introduced to me that there's, with all this stuff going on, especially with food and the lack of food and everybody chiming up to help people with food. The holidays coming up. That's a pressure with people with families, especially. People are really wondering what they're going to do for Thanksgiving dinner, what they're going to do for Christmas, how they're going to handle the holidays. Are they going to be able to travel? I know I'm not getting on no plane right now until they start paying the air traffic controllers again. So, that part. So you get in your car, you're rolling, what you doing, what's happening with plans. It's going to get cold again here soon. So, we're all thinking about the winter time and preparing for that in all kinds of different ways, and love to hear what you're doing to prepare for it as well. So, we'll talk about it a little bit in the chat, but also you can always put suggestions in Friends of First Sky Omaha where the discussion continues when we're not live. But we're live right now, man. Mama Gawd is in the chat saying, good morning, fam. Appreciate you.
Hey, see my brother tapping in too. Damian Simmons' brother coming from Austin.
Hey, what's happening out there in Texas, bro? What's going on now?
Top of the morning, bro.
Top of the morning to you. Stacey Jean in the chat. Good morning, First Sky fam and friends. Appreciate you. RG is reiterating no show on Friday. So, apologize for that. No show on Friday, but we got a show going today. So we might as well jump into it a little bit. And before we get there, let me see if I got any community updates happening of any significance. I don't know how many of you went out to Danifer Douglas. That happened on November 3rd, but I'd love to hear a report if you did. I actually got a chance to speak to her a little bit. She was wondering if anybody was coming out, and I reassured her that we've been talking about this on the show, and we were trying to get some people out there. So if you went, love to hear what if you were able to ask any questions and get any clarification on what she's running on, what's going on, how to get to know her better and all that good stuff. So love to hear that, because we definitely want to get behind somebody who's going to replace Klein.
Man, Klein again. It's part of the 6 to dismiss. Let's get busy.
For real, for real. Yeah. So it's going down. Also, if you guys haven't been keeping up with the drama over there, the NP Mart, Brother Kasim and Brother Sherman Wells went out there to the Mart and gave us a report, went live. I highly suggest you go back to their page and check the live out, Brother Kasim or Sherman Wells. And they talked about that. They talked to the owner. The owner was very, apologetic. And but they brought up some real points, and Sherman did another sermon with Sherman where he followed up, and he was talking about it like, we can't. What are we going to do? Run them out of business? When it was Big Jim's and it got sold, it should have been somebody from our community that bought it.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is start thinking in terms of that. And I thought, follow the money. Next season is really going to be digging into, apparently there's an investment club out here that I didn't know about. They hipped us to during that broadcast. So, we need to start thinking about those things if we really want to make some change, if we really want to see be treated differently from businesses in our neighborhood. It might be good to own those businesses. So I like their approach. I like their follow up. And they kind of showed us that it might be difficult to boycott that place. I personally am probably not going to go back. But it is around. There's some surrounding areas and some elderly people around there that that's where they got to go for certain things. So he just really brought it home, Sherman especially, about how we can't realistically boycott people out of business when some stuff like this happens, but we can definitely pull back and we can figure out what we can do on a grander scale, owning some of the businesses in our neighborhood, so we don't got to worry about a lot of that. But they've made some changes there, and I highly suggest you go to Sherman's page to find out what changes were made. I guess there's going to be the ability to be a vendor. There's going to be some black vendors that are going to be able to go into these stores now and sell their goods. So they made some strides there in figuring out how to make things better. But
brothers get it, man. My brothers get it.
They really do. They really do. So shout out to them for doing that work. Shout out to everybody who's backing them on those plays too. Yeah, most definitely. So appreciate it. Marlon Harrison, I appreciate you keeping up with the Native American Heritage Month. You've been putting some highlights on some of the tribes and giving your top fives. I like how you turned into the top five guy. That's what's up. Shout out to Marlon Harrison. Go to his page and check out his posts. He's also putting them on Friends of First Sky as well. Still celebrating Native American Heritage Month. Appreciate you, brother Harrison. With that, we'll say some of those community updates, some more community updates for later. And if you have any that's coming up, since we're not going to have a show on Friday, maybe we can talk about some of the haps that's going on coming up this weekend that you guys want to get down on. Let us know early. And also we can put those in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. But in the meantime, between time, just want to check the chat real quick. I see Majee Miller Jenkins giving us a good morning. Appreciate that. Marlon Harrison, speaking of Marlon, he says DT Vance and Mike Johnson are going on whole social media rants because the Republicans lost night like their son, like there's some high school kids, like there's some high school kids. Yeah, they're going on some rants for sure. So they really don't like what's going on, and I have yet to see what Trump has to say about any of this, but I'm sure he'll throw a fit too. RG says, I haven't stepped foot in MP Mart since we were knee deep in COVID. It's been a little while for sure. So we can continue some of that energy. I was driving down 30th yesterday and saw some big, bright, shiny MP Mart gas pumps on the back of a truck that was headed right to the station. I was like, they're getting upgraded on top of it. Okay.
Right to the spot.
Kimber Snipes gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate it. Again, please do us a favor. Share the show on your page if you're on Facebook, and share the link if you're on YouTube so we can get as many people in the conversation as we can. Ms. Snipes says, my church is celebrating 160 years this Sunday at venue at the Highlander from 3 to 5, the historic St. John AME, older than the state of Nebraska. Wow.
Yeah. Appreciate that that write-up that you sent us. Yeah, man. That's huge. Again, black church. Older than the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, man. 160 years. That's quite the legacy for real. So, definitely appreciate you putting that out there and reminding us. I saw that was in Friends of First Sky Omaha again. So thank you. And appreciate it. So, anybody got anything coming up this weekend? Again, we're not having a show on Friday. Let us know about what's happening this weekend. Let everybody know about events coming up and all that good stuff, and put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha if you would. Meantime, between time, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Buddy to talk about what today's thread is going to be. and jump into this conversation as we anticipate our special guest Mike Lee coming through today. What's going on first on the agenda, buddy?
Yeah, touching on a few topics that we've been, talking about throughout this episode, continuing really in general on a conversation of mutual aid, looking at some examples. Shout out to KMTV News 3 for reporting on this situation in Glenwood, Iowa. Apparently, the community stepped up and raised millions of dollars to save their child care center. Again, just another example of what mutual aid could look like as we explore the idea and learn more about it, and work on turning toward each other, especially in the face of this chaos that's going on under the Trump administration. Speaking of that, there are some um, studies and there are some conversations, I'd say, happening surrounding home ownership, especially home ownership for young folk. Actually, Nebraska Examiner just released an article looking at the struggles specifically to Nebraska for young home buyers as they lose more ground in the market. And then also Senator McKinney, put some respect on his name, actually has an interim study to investigate the financial and structural barriers impeding Nebraskans from attaining home ownership. And actually, we have some partners that are also looking into that as well. So definitely want to have that conversation, especially talking about in the season of space and place. Again, home ownership. That man, it starts at home, as they say. So again, we definitely want to talk about that. Also, looking at, we've been talking about the housing and we've been talking about the food, some of those resources that are being presented, but healthcare, again, the government is shut down because of the lack of agreement on a healthcare program, healthcare package, but there is a Omaha clinic that is still serving ABA clients ahead of this shutdown. So yeah, for those who might need assistance, for those who might need those types of services, want to help you out, also still looking at the prison situation in Nebraska, many different angles. Actually got some thoughts about what's going on with this Omaha tribe situation.
Mm.
Yeah, marijuana, how the state of Nebraska is really showing their rear end on this. We'll talk about it, and not just that, but of course the Cornhusker Clink is moving forward. There's actually reports that they're expecting it to be about 200 ICE detainees in the facility within the next couple of weeks. My question is, where are they coming from? So we're definitely going to be talking about that throughout the show. And then, of course, some things happening with the SNAP benefits. We reported on Monday of judges, again, letting down their decision, letting their voice be heard as far as trying to push the SNAP situation forward. But Trump is trumping it. So we'll definitely talk about that and more throughout the show. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, something we're missing the mark on, please let us know. Again, we're here live for the next 2 hours. As Paul mentioned, we also will be joined by our guest brother Mike Lee coming on a little later on. Again, leadership with the Black Caucus, man. So yeah, definitely want to hear from that brother. Powerhouse in his own right. In the meantime, between time though, Paul B.
Yo. Say what?
So what say you? What's the word? How
Yeah,
we doing?
no, yeah. I thought we cut out there for a minute. No, we're all good. We appreciate it. Ariel's 402 saying hit the like button, hot the like
Hey.
button, make it hot. Yep. Appreciate you. Where you at in the world? Mira Sanchez, let us know what's going on with you. Also, Mama God says that place always weirded me out. Too hard to get out of something if something erupts. Glad positive things came from NP Mart discussion. That's interesting.
Okay.
It does kind of feel like a little tough to get out of too when you logistically when you're in there you kind of stuck.
Hey.
So I appreciate that perspective as well. But yeah, we'll be talking about it for sure. Brooke Allen in the chat, give us a good morning. Appreciate you. Good morning to you as well. And yeah, let's take a quick break and come back and jump into a little bit of discussion. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning,
All B, all stuffed up right here.
man.
To God, you could use a couple more winks.
Yeah, good.
But we here. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, buddy to God.
Hey.
Day after man, some history is being made. Brother Zoran doing the right thing.
Hey,
Coming
that's dope.
on in, man. Yeah, shout out to Spike Lee. Of course, the Spike Lee retrospective is going on right now. Film streams as well. And then he'll be here to visit in December. We'll get you those new dates for that so that you can get tickets and check it out when he comes to town. But man, Spike is happy.
Hey.
We'll be talking about it. We would definitely be talking about it. He's kind of all over the place right now, actually. So where's the one I was looking for here? This one I thought was really interesting. NYC's first couple, Muslim, Indian, Syrian, and American. And this is a big deal. And again, the socialist part of it is what is the thing that's striking me, because over the course of the last few years of us covering some stuff, call yourself a socialist, you putting yourself out there to get stomped on. But
Man,
the people have spoken.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, you might have FBI popping up at your door. You never know.
Big time, big time. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and jump into the discussion for the day. Of course, we're going to be looking at some things that's locally very important to us in our neighborhood. So what's first on the agenda, buddy? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, continuing the idea of mutual aid, the conversation, trying to find solutions in the midst of this chaos that we all find ourselves in. And the solution that we, feel is most viable is turning toward each other. And again, I always say we are all we got, but that's enough. And this first story is kind of a point in case of that sentiment. Again, going along the affirmative, as I like to try to open our shows with. And this story is coming out of Glenwood, Iowa. KMTV reports just 3 years after the state of Iowa announced it would close the Glenwood Resource Center, which was the community's child care facility. They have secured a permanent home in the century-old building they originally occupied. And this is definitely a case of all hands on deck. First of all, the state not only closed the facility, but they closed the power plant that was connected to the building, which created a significant obstacle for the community to step up and do what they needed to do. But the school district in the area, which actually operated the daycare as an enterprise fund, which is something I'm not very familiar with, but quite an interesting idea. Just stop there. Again, a local entity like a school district owning a daycare like an enterprise fund. I think this is something we may have talked about briefly here on the show, but to see it in action is quite interesting. Again, the school district was able to secure $1.5 million in a grant to connect the building to the city utilities grid, again, as the original power plant was closed down. Beyond that, also the decision to remain in the original location was a communal decision. The community together collectively raised about $3.5 million through business donations, a family foundation grant, and community fundraising to cover cosmetic and infrastructure improvements. On one, Corker says, I mean, there was a lot of people working together to problem solve this, and it's worked out. It's a weight lifted. The facility, also once known as Kids Place, was rebranded as the Lincoln Foundation Child Development Center, with Rebecca Knight serving as the new coordinator. So again, as we see, efforts from Sherman and him talking about how businesses can step up. And again, this is the type of thing that we need. If we had more business ownership in the community, if we had, again, foundations that are working, which we do, but what does this look like in our community? How can we replicate these type of efforts? And, again, solutions journalism, looking around what other people are doing and trying to apply that to our situation. Again, childcare. I know we have several childcare providers in the chat, often chiming up about some of the lack of resources that they receive, some of the obstacles that they have to go through. A big shout out to Miss Erica Felt, kind of our resident childcare provider and actually content creator alumni, very vocal about some of the things and challenges that our childcare providers have to go through. So,
Yep.
One angle of it, we'll be talking about housing here in a second. But Paul, what say you?
Yeah, it just it struck me as something to dig into. First of all, shout out for Channel 3 for putting the story out here. I really love the way that they have the neighborhood news set up over there, and they kind of, but still are finding ways to talk about stories from other areas that allow us to be able to see how something else is done somewhere else. So this is just kind of really struck me as maybe a solution here, and there's a lot to dig into that we didn't know.
Mhm.
But anytime I see something like that, it comes across, and I'm just like, okay, I wonder if we can try that here, or just try to find some solutions there. I think is the most important part. So, I highly encourage any of our child care experts out here, Miss Erica Felt, Gwen Easter, I'm thinking about as well, and others. Dig in a little bit on this and give us a little insight, give us a little bit more information on whether or not any of these things would work. And this also kind of really brings up this whole universal child care
Mm.
discussion that we've been having as well, and how everything is kind of moving towards that. I talked to a child care provider last night, as a matter of fact, that was reminding me on, a lot of this stuff that happens, man, is getting people's places shut down because, and then, what are you going to do when you're competing with free? But what are they teaching your kids in these free spots? Why are they going for this kind of a universal child care situation and trying to catch them early and indoctrinate them on some things? This is a bigger discussion going on here. So
Mm.
that's why, when this was on my mind this morning, having that discussion last night, this was on my mind this morning. If we can figure out ways to save some of the neighborhood spots, we better find every solution we can, because everything is going towards this universal child care model that is we feel like is really put in place there to get your kids early.
Man, yeah, I mean, just the kind of the whittling away of local businesses and mom and pop shops, and just kind of just the hyper commercialization we've seen. And actually, it's a perfect segue because we're seeing it in housing. We're seeing, again, it's been reported here in Atlanta, just about 3 companies alone, and one of those companies do own this house that I'm in right now. I am paying rent to this multi-state mega corporation that
Mm,
owns just about 30 to 40% of the housing in the city alone. Again, just three companies.
wow.
Yeah, man. And again, it's very interesting. Just the wide sprawling, wide reach of mega corporations, and how individuals owning things are becoming harder and harder. But again, there are people fighting that. Big shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who has an interim study to investigate some of the financial and structural barriers impeding Nebraskans from attaining home ownership. Looking at, again, what are some of the structural, what are some of the uh, what is the word? Institutional. There we go,
Hmm.
institutional barriers and things that are in place, again, that stop us individuals from owning homes. This is something that we've been talking about. Of course, Paul and I mentioned it's kind of hard to even secure a rental property without a hookup, let alone, again, getting into ownership. And shout out to Nebraska Examiner for reporting on some of those struggles. Again, as they do recognize that the numbers don't lie. Young homeowners, or home buyers, excuse me, are losing more ground in the housing market as states struggle to help. Young home buyers have been priced out of the market, according to the article by Nebraska Examiner, even more than previously. That's according to a report released November 4th by the National Associations of Realtors, as a result of decreased housing affordability and limited housing and inventory. Potential first-time buyers retreated further from the housing market. That's according to the report that looked at numbers between July 2024 and June 25. The share of first-time home buyers dropped to a new low of 21% of all buyers, and the median age of those first-time buyers increased to 40. So again, fewer young folk are buying homes. Older repeat buyers with cash offers and large down payments now dominate the market. That's according to the report. Again, repeat buyers had a median age of 62. The oldest reports are 44. The report's 44-year history. Excuse me. So again, the young families starting starter homes, buying homes, that's not the case anymore, which is, again, going towards this trajectory of what we've been talking about, what I'm just talking about, as far as mega corporations taking over. I'm sure we've all heard the idea or the sentiment that the future of America looks like everybody having everything and owning nothing. Again, we're going to be paying service fees and membership fees and renting everything, and not owning anything, not our DVDs, not our music, not our home, not our cars, nothing.
Interesting. Our in our area too, especially there's especially on the north side and the kind of historical north side, a couple of big organizations are trying to buy up all the homes there too. And I still have family members that own property in those areas, and they say they get hit up all the time, just about every day, for these corporations to come in, and these corporations that we're talking about are owning most of their block. I also know that Congress or City Councilwoman Lavanya Goodwin
Mhm.
is fighting this as well. She's even before she ran for anything, was going up and down neighborhoods, telling some of the people in the neighborhood, save your house, don't sell. We're trying to keep the block. There's just on that good mission of trying to keep some ownership, first of all, but also to keep these multinational groups to come in and buying up all of North Omaha, which, anybody in Nebraska knows is really prime area, prime territory between the airport and downtown. So it's been a struggle to keep ownership in the first place. And now it's even more of a struggle because these groups will come in. So I think it's really something to be kind of looking out for. There is a interim study that is happening on Friday. According to our partners at Heart Ministry Center, and also Senator McKinney, the one you were talking about. I believe this is the legislative resolution that was proposed. The purpose of this resolution is to propose an interim study to investigate the financial and structural barriers impeding Nebraskans for obtaining home ownership. You can take a look at this too. I'll go ahead and post this in Friends of First Sky Omaha so you can look a little deeper. And if you have any testimony, Friday is the day. We'll get you some information on that as well. I'm personally going to write some letters based on some of the things that I've seen, because I won't be able to be there. But people can also show up to this hearing that's happening on Friday as well. We'll get you some more information, and go check First Sky Omaha, the Friends of First Sky Omaha group page to get that information. We'll get that in there today. So yeah, there's a movement on this, and shout out to our partners over at Heart Ministry Center, who's really behind this study, and shout out to Senator McKinney and his office for pushing this as well. So we're trying to get some answers here. This starts with studies and ends with laws. So this is just the beginning of it. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And, as some of you prepare to write those responses, I urge you to check out this article by Nebraska Examiner, because I actually go into detail into some of the solutions, some of the laws, some of the things that other states and governors are electing to do to, again, help with this home buyer situation and, kind of combat these mega corporations and the rising costs just, due to tariffs and just the nature of the market. But for example, Florida has a mortgage first time down payment assistance program. Michigan does as well, although they have exhausted their funds for the first generation program. Also, Utah's governor is looking to have zoning changes to create about 35,000 starter homes aimed at first time buyers. So there's definitely some options out there, some, governors, some elected officials trying to find solutions. But again, we're going to have to continue to talk. And for those of you who have options, who have solutions, who have ideas, let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. As Paul said, this Friday, let's get busy.
Yep. Appreciate it. Any inquiries, you definitely could hit us up on that. And like I say, check out Friends of First Sky Omaha for more information. In the meantime, between time, Katie L in the chat is giving us a good morning. Appreciate you coming on in. Anthony Rogers Wright says Zoran ran and won on a universal child care platform. Something to dig into a little bit on that universal child care situation. Got to figure it out. He also says salaries in Omaha are not matching in inflation or basic cost of living. How do we expect younger folk to buy homes under these conditions? You ain't lying. I would expect them to pay the rents, these higher rents out here in this circumstance as well. So that's what's up. Stacey Jean says, I get hit up 3 or 4 times a week. They literally are knocking on people's doors saying, we want to buy your property. So hold strong, Stacey G, hold strong.
Aggressive about it too. Mama guy said they reaching out to her.
Yeah, super aggressive on all fronts. Really trying to buy it up. What's this link I just put in? Nebraska legislature. That's the
that's the link to the legislative resolution. There is a button to submit comment online for that there directly. So again, if you want to get down, no need to wait till Friday either. Again, just click the link and get busy.
Appreciate that, man. More voices heard, it helps. And yeah, we definitely need more voices out here. A lot of these organizations that you would think wanted to help are not really chiming up on this. From what I understand, right?
That's the word.
Marlon Harrison says we also need to talk about people selling their parents, grandparents, and great grandparents' house for money.
Yeah, man.
Been in the situation in the family before where that's the case, and it really has to do with retaining people in Omaha. That's when it comes down to it. People in Omaha, especially if they grew up in certain areas, feel like they got to get out of those areas, whether that's different sides of town or different states. Might not want to take over the parents or the grandparents' homes in some of the neighborhoods that they came up in, And that happens. That's not just the Omaha thing. That happens all over the place. So it is very something to consider. If you come up and you have no plans to go to college here, you're going to go to college out of state. You might end up buying something from out of in out of state and stay out of state. And then what happens with your grandparents' house when they pass? Well, usually, especially in the black community, they go ahead and sell it off, pay off some debts because nobody really wants to stay there. Definitely happened in my family as well for with the great grandparents, which was the real travesty as far as the younger generation in our family is concerned. Just because our great grandmother had that house built in a place in North Omaha that should have held on to, but again, nobody wanted to stay in the area. So this goes. You're right. It happens a lot. What you want to do. And it's a tough position to be in to feel like you are going to maintain that when the world is out there for you.
Man,
And you might not feel like you got nothing here in Omaha. You know what I'm saying?
experiencing that same thing. My grandfather owned 2 lots by the new Highlander developments that they're building out there right off of Parker. He owned 2 lots. One of them were sold and replaced with the new housing. So yeah, it's hard to build on that generational wealth when those factors exist, but got to have these conversations. So I appreciate you, brother Marlon.
Most deaf. We'll go ahead and take a quick break before we do. Kimber Snipe says, RG, thank you for sharing about the cancer screening Saturday. It was dope. I'm glad you went.
Nice.
See what's up. He says that he said, tell me the turnout was bigger than expected. Please let us know about the turnout out there as well. And man, I'm so mad that I double booked myself on that and didn't make that. But please let us know when the next one's coming up. I appreciate that. Free cancer screenings is big news around here for us. So please let us know. Mama Guy says income to inflation disparity is nationwide problem. That's a problem too. Who can afford to take over these houses from our parents and grandparents? This is a problem as well. A lot of those are still have a mortgage on them. It's not a whole lot of them that are paid off. Some still have a mortgage. You got to take that over on top of it. So it's really tough for a lot of different reasons. Linda Latham in the chat. Good morning. Appreciate you getting up this morning with us. Also, Anthony Rogers Rice says city council and the mayor need to institute a moratorium on out-of-town corporations buying homes. I really highly encourage they do that. You're absolutely right on that. For real. Kimber Snipe says, yes, Marlon, the need to teach people how to properly take care of their homes, which is why sometimes people sell their people's homes as well. Right. Too much money you got to put in to modernize them and so on and so forth, or just get them up to par at all. There's a lot to home ownership. There's a lot to it. And if you're not all the way about the area that you're trying to live in or what you're trying to do, then, I can understand why a lot of people don't really take over the parents' property sometimes. It just is what it is. But we highly encourage it. Like I said, I remember hearing stories about LaVanya Goodwin, Councilwoman LaVanya Goodwin, put some respect on her name, walking around the neighborhoods, knocking on doors. Y'all, please keep your grandparents' house. Keep it in the family. These multinational corporations are coming here trying to buy up the block. They've already bought up 4 or 5 houses right next to you. Say, get busy with save that. So
they say Bill Gates is actually one of the fastest growing landowners in the country.
Wow. Crazy.
Buying it all up. Yeah.
Well, we're going to we'll take a break on that note. We appreciate everybody that's joined us with us on Wednesday. Again, just to repeat, there's no show on Friday. We'll have to cancel the show on Friday for some other things that are going on that are unavoidable. So appreciate everybody's patience with that. We'll be back on Monday, though. Right now, I'm just dealing with a lot of congestion, so excuse all of this. I hope that you guys can bear with me through it. I am fully congested this morning, and I'm just kind of like trying to put the sentences together in my head is even tough right now. But we're here. We're hanging tough. Buddy's here. Appreciate you, buddy, for getting up. I know that your life is a nighttime musician's life.
Yeah, much to my chagrin.
So but we're all here. We appreciate you guys getting up early with us too. Take a quick break here. We'll come back, and of course, we're looking forward to speaking with Mike Lee, who is our special guest for today from the Nebraska Democratic Party Black Caucus. I wonder if he got any sleep last night. The way Precious McKesson was up, tossing and turning and up and excited and had a boost of adrenaline. Everything that's going down with the Democratic sweep that happened, of course. Yeah, these people out here, man, when Donnie out here having his best life. He back there with the DJs, and
man,
they got pictures of him freestyling in the street, and yeah, man, yeah. Brothers, Chief Zoran is getting down out here. So we'll be talking about it. and that and a lot more here. We gotta talk about the sweep. We don't really talk too much about the parties, in particular, but it is big news right now all across the country. Democrats have kind of swept a whole bunch of elections, and we're hoping that some of that'll rub off on us for next year. And everything I got to say bad about the Democrats, I don't have to say it because Anthony Rogers Wright's in the chat, so I know that he'll lay it on us. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B, buddy to God. Appreciate you guys joining us. No show on Friday, just to reiterate. I'm going to keep on reminding y'all throughout the show. No show on Friday. We will skip Friday this week, but we'll be back Monday. So we're also kind of putting it out there about any of the haps. We usually do haps on Friday. So anything happening, anything going down this weekend, let us know. You can put it in the chat or put it in Friends of First Guy Omaha. Actually, put it both if you could, and let us know. One thing that's happening this weekend as well, the Mental Health in the Holidays presented by Black Agenda Alliance is happening on Saturday, November 8th from 1 to 3 at Nelson Mandela Elementary School. Yours truly is going to host it. We'll be out there hosting this and talking to some professionals, man. Shalonda Rush, also Peyton Hogan. If you know Peyton Hogan, he's got his own podcast, mental health podcast that goes down. So that's what's up. Yeah. And also Morgan Price. And these people are, mental health experts. They are, they deal with addictions. They deal with all kinds of things. So we got some experts on this panel. We're going to be talking to them. This is happening at Nelson Mandela School, 6316 North 30th Street. You know where Nelson Mandela is, elementary school. Definitely check it out. Saturday, November 8th, 1 to 3. Love to see you out there. And we'll check it out. Shout out to Black Agenda Alliance, man, for really championing mental health in not just our youth, not just our black men, but in our whole community. And being a part of this situation here. So, yeah, I'll be hosting this. We'll be talking to them, get some questions ready. And you can get your questions ready, too, and go and check it out. Come on through. And we'll put this in Friends of First Guy Omaha with some more information for you to be able to check in and come through on Saturday. Yeah. So, yeah, that's going down. And again, anything happening, man, love to hear about that. Let us know. I see Donnell Sessions in the chat saying good morning. Appreciate that. Says, who's more important than us? I heard that.
Power to the people. Power to the people. We are waiting on our guests to come in. I did want to squeeze one more story in before then, kind of set him up, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And kind of continuing on what you just touched on as far as mental health. Again, we are in this shutdown right now, and the health care system is in the crux or in the middle of it. But again, shout out to those in the community who are trying to fill the gaps, man. An important case, Lamplight Behaviors, which is a clinic that is apparently still offering ABA therapy services, although the state has elected to already, actually before the shutdown, has elected to roll back some of its health care. Again, this is reported from KMTV. Nebraska cut ABA therapy reimbursement rates back in August. Again, before the whole government shut down, before, again, Republicans and federal Republicans and Democrats weren't able to agree on a new healthcare bill. And now those are stepping up. Again, Lamplight Behaviors clinician-led model continues acceptance. For families like Brooke Egerts, APA therapy has been life-changing. Her 5-year-old son, Tony, was diagnosed with autism at 2.5 years old. She says, our focus is not based on becoming the biggest, this is from Lamplight Regional Director Ryan Jones, who says our focus is not based on becoming the biggest service provider. It's based completely on providing high-quality clinical services So that clinical component is always going to come first for us. So again, and just man, resources. Those who need help, those who need, especially again dealing with mental health, as far as having family members with autism and other diagnoses. Again,
Absolutely.
Lamp Light Behavior opened its West Omaha location in 108th and Q Street. So if anyone is interested and is now taking inquiries for ABA therapy services, the clinic's regional director says their clinician-led model allows them to maintain Medicaid services even after Nebraska itself cut reimbursement rates in August. And again, I want to reiterate this again, showing just where Nebraska is in the political spectrum. Again, the federal government shut down its healthcare spending just a month ago. Nebraska rolled back its ABA services back in August. So again, ahead of the curve, just like they did with the SNAP situation.
They can't wait.
Can't wait to take stuff from the people. So there you go. The Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, or Hell and Harm, as again our Senator Terrell McKinney calls it. They were the ones who elected to reduce Medicaid reimbursement rates for ABA therapy back on August 1st. And their reasoning was that the state had some of the highest payment rates in the country. The change led many providers to stop accepting Medicaid or cut back on services they offered for families like Brooks. ABA therapy has been life-changing. Again, her 5-year-old son deals with those services, and I'm sure a lot of people in our community and our audience may need those services as well, especially in the face of the shutdown with no reopening in sight. So again, just another service, another resource in the community. What it's all about.
There you go. Appreciate that very much. Before we get to our special guest, we just on the back of that discussion, just want to acknowledge and make mention. A lot of us saw one of our brothers have a problem, a mental a breakdown, a manic episode online. And we just want to give a shout out and give some love to Myron Pierce, and just know that we got love for you, grace for you. We know what you're going through. We're sorry that you're going through what you are. I hope that people were able to reach out to you and some of these resources out there for you if you need them, and and just recognize that there's people out here that recognize the work that you're doing, and even if you weren't doing no work, man, human being, and you're our brother. We love you. We care about you. And everybody who I saw comment and call and kick in to try to help the brother at that particular point in time. Shout out to y'all as well. Everybody, a lot of people that were out there kind of made things a little bit worse as well. And I got to acknowledge that inappropriate. We don't throw our people away. The brother had an issue, and we need to just understand that we got to give some grace and some love. Anytime anybody has any kind of issues, it's because they're not surrounded with love in the way they need to be. So, it just puts it on our brain. We all have to really kind of help take care of each other and then take care of each other's mental health. This is the season of space is the place. The space between your ears is the first place we really need to be concentrating on and really working on ourselves, because we live in a day and age where it's very common to have some issues, we all are right on the verge of having all kinds of issues. So just wanted to give a shout out to that brother, some love. Shout out to the community that really kind of rolled up and called and tried to get him to get to him in order to really help that out. And that's really it. Just wanted to kind of acknowledge that we all saw what happened. We were all online in our community, and it was really hard to deal with, but it was something that we in the end kind of really are showing our true colors. People who stepped up with love and grace stood out to me from other people that did not do that. So shout out to Myron Pierce, for real.
And also, in that note, Brett, shout out to to the likes of Brother Peyton Hogan and Johnny No Good, who are creating spaces and places for specifically men to kind of again deal with the PTSD that we just recognized. Shout out to former Senator Wayne for again getting that study done and just getting some numbers behind it. And even on a national scale, there are trends of specifically Black men unaliving themselves. They're not hanging themselves from trees. I'll say that.
That's not how we go out.
No. but there is a mental health crisis in black men in general across the nation. So man, it's time for a love supreme. That's the message. It's time for a love supreme. It's time for a love supreme, and that's what we're all about, man. So that's what it is.
There it is. Appreciate you guys being patient. We ran a little late, so we can say that, but we do have our special guest waiting in the wings, and it looked like he brought somebody with him as well. Mike Lee. Yeah, bro, you gotta set us up here. I see. I'm sorry, brother. What's your name? We just meeting you.
Joel Childs.
Okay, how you doing, brother Charles? How you
I'm
doing?
good. How are you?
Good, good. How you doing, brother Lee? What's happening with you?
Can't complain. Can't complain. It's early. No.
Yes, sir.
Very early.
Tell me about it.
He said, "I can't complain, but I'm gonna complain that it's early."
Right.
I had to a little bit. I had to let y'all know.
Well, thanks for joining us so early, brother.
Yeah, thanks for joining us early. Of course, you came on. We've been trying to get you on for a little while now to talk a little bit about what's going on with the Black Caucus. But like I said, we're not familiar with this brother here, so I'm gonna throw him on first, if you would. I'd like to get to know who you are, brother Childs. You said Childs, right?
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
My
How
name
you
is
doing?
Joel. I'm good. My name is Joel Childs. I am a member of the Black Caucus. I am the treasurer.
Okay.
I've been involved with the Black Caucus probably since 16, probably.
Oh, okay.
I've served in different capacities with the Black Caucus, such as vice chair and treasurer, and a number of everything. I'm a whatever you need guy.
So you've been around for a while, then.
A little bit.
Okay. And brother Lee, how new are you to this organization? It seems like you've been in for a little minute too, right?
Yeah, so I've probably been part of the Black Caucus since 2020 when I moved
Oh
back.
wow.
and
Okay.
started, managing Senator McKinney's campaign.
Yeah.
But I took over as chair. What was that? Was that last year, Joel?
Yes.
Last year. And so from there, it's kind of just been nonstop.
Okay, well, before we dive in, man, just want to just take a little minute. We haven't talked to you for a while. How's life? How are you doing, just as a human being? I know that the last time you were here, you were running for office. You were also backing people's campaigns. I see you still in politics. Just how's life, and how are things going with you?
It's going good. Can't complain.
Except that it's early.
Yeah, I mean, I did earlier, but yeah, I've been just working in the community, still doing the same things, right? Just because you lose an election doesn't mean that you run away and go somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Some people do.
I licked my wounds, took my little 2 weeks, and came back out here. I am bad at sharing news. I am Senator McKinney's newest legislative aide, so I have been working down in Lincoln, helping Senator McKinney a little bit more hands-on in policy, which I'm very excited about. Getting to work with Kimra too. It's pretty dope.
That's what's up, man.
Congrats, man. And I mean, that in itself is an admirable thing to continue doing the work, because regardless of position, regardless of station, at the end of the day, it is about the work. So again, continuing to do the work, appreciate that. And I guess speaking of that, let's go ahead and dive in. What are some of the things that you brothers are doing and with the Nebraska Black Caucus, and just kind of some of the things you're excited about right now?
Yeah. First, I want to say that me and Joel's friendship. Sometimes you get those friendships that kind of just transcend time and generations, right? And political thoughts, right? Getting to know Joel. Joel has served as a vice chair. He served as treasurer before. He served in many positions as the Black Caucus. So getting to know him and kind of talking to him about how things used to run or how it used to operate, and you're right, it's very, very insightful, right? Especially as a young person who constantly, I look at it as I constantly try to go against the old guard. But for the Black Caucus, I think overall, me and Joel have been like this. We've been going across the state, right, in rural Nebraska, trying to meet Black Democrats and Black nonpartisans, asking them to join the caucus, asking what's their needs, right? I think a lot of times people feel like it's only Black people who live in North Omaha. And while I will surely say that is our political base, and I will staunchly fight on that hill for that, I do believe that we have to start trying to get to the rest of our brothers and sisters across the state, right? And give them a place and a home in which they can feel that not only can they mobilize and organize, right, but they can also push back and fight for their interests within the parties too. So
Are there Black people in Greater Nebraska?
I was gonna say that I've actually seen reports that the western part of the state is diversifying at a real rapid rate, which some people are, got some chiming up to do about it. But is that kind of reflective in what you brothers have seen?
You, you know, I, I went to college in Norfolk, so there's
Okay.
there's definitely a large group of African Americans in Norfolk. I also went to school in Wayne. I went to a junior college first, and then that's what brought me here to Nebraska. I came here to play basketball.
Okay.
So there's for sure black people in Wayne, and then if you look at any town that has a college, there are black people there.
Hmm.
There are black people who are permanent residents there.
Mhm.
Like Mike said, I've been involved with the Black Caucus. I think it was like 16 or around then, and I kind of basically got thrown into the fire. Kimra Snipes, I just walked into a meeting, and she was like, I need a treasure. You're gonna be my treasure, and that's how I got started.
Mm.
That sound
My
like
first
him.
meeting,
That sound like him.
I got put to work, and I've been rolling since then. It just I'm happy that she did that, because I'm not a shy person, but I definitely don't volunteer for stuff.
Mm.
Usually people have to, like, hey, we need you to do this, and then I do it. But any place in Nebraska, you go, there are African Americans all over.
Man. Okay.
Before we dive any further into that, though, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who is giving you guys a shout out in the chat. We're paying attention to the chat for you guys, so you guys can just kind of concentrate on the message. Anthony Rogers Writer says, "Joel, New York Yankees represent."
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kimber says, when I teach my authentic allyship class, I always preface it with every single person showed up as a sum whole of everything that has happened to them before that day. I love that that theory as well. She says, you never know what somebody's going through for real. Then she shouted you out, Joel. I'm looking at you. Your name reminds me of like the Superman family, man, like Joel, like Kal-El. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. All right.
I'm getting the vibes over here. Everybody's calling you out. Everybody shouting you out. I appreciate that. Heavy Williams gives a good morning. Roscoe Wallace says, Grand Rising, good brothers. Appreciate that.
Peace.
Kimber says, I was in Scottsbluff one time and met two black people at my hotel. Neither one of them was from Omaha, and they lived there. So again, lots going on. Shout out to Precious McKesson. Good morning
Hey.
from Sky Fam.
Folks tuning in.
We've been talking about the sweep. She says, "Hey, Mike and Joel." So that's what's up. I appreciate you guys. You guys are getting the love in the chat, and I appreciate you guys coming and letting us know. I got a question for you before we get any further. What is the Black Caucus supposed to be doing for black folks?
Look. So the purpose of the Nebraska Democratic Black Caucus is, one, to elect black Democrats across the state, support black candidates, operatives, and party leaders in gaining positions throughout the NDP. And it is also to promote within the party, as well as outside, the issues that affect our communities, right? And so a lot of times, in the caucus, we've had fortunate to have strong leaders who are often heard and respected, but the infrastructure it wasn't often there, right? And so, we had Precious McKesson as chair, we had Kimra as chair, right? We had great leaders. And so my focus ever since taking on this role as chair is just to make sure that we have an infrastructure that we can pass on, right? I'm constantly talking about building a bench, right? And so for me, it's important to make sure that we have the NDP Black Caucus actually ready and set up to not only support candidates up and down the ballot across the state, but also have the money to put behind those candidates, right? And also supporting people who want to run campaigns, right? And who look like me, right? Because we do need more black political operatives in the state.
Man, I think before we get to that point, I appreciate the answer, first of all. But before we get to that point, I think what the Black Caucus has the opportunity to do, if it's not already doing, not only support candidates, but also be a kind of a central place for a platform, for those candidates to run on. We talk about a lot on the show. What's the plan? What are we doing? What's the plan? Like, yes, we can find candidates, but what platform are they running on? What ideas are they supporting? What agendas are they fulfilling? And so to that point, you say you talk to the people across the state. What issues are you seeing? What needs have to be fulfilled based on your conversations?
It's no different from what people have been talking about on the national stage. Affordability.
Mm.
People can't afford to live. Everything's too expensive. Young people can't find a place to live, right? Because housing is too expensive, right?
Old people can't find a place to live either, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. And
That's
so
me. I'm old.
and Joel works in the housing industry. And so, the messages of affordability, I think, is really something that we need to necessarily hold on, right? Like that's something that we need to talk to people about because it resonates. They understand when their paycheck doesn't meet all their needs, right? And they also understand when look, I'm a firm believer that when you give people time to understand the political realities of things, right? It gives them the encouragement not only to feel like one that they can be engaged in the political process, but two, the information so they can also fight back and know where to go for resources, right? But you're right. In terms of the Black Caucus needing to do more, we have to, right? Because the political reality of it all is Black people across the country, in the state, in Omaha, have to deal with a political reality that is not the reality of normal people,
Man.
right? And so because of that, yeah, I'm always down to do more, right? I don't want to ever sit there and tell you that we can't do this because it doesn't fit our values. Now, I am a firm. Um, Look, I think that Democrats do things a certain way, right? Republicans fall in line. A lot of time, Democrats bicker until we figure out the best candidate. Now, the Black Caucus is going to be doing endorsements on dem races. That's something that never usually happens,
That's
right?
different. Yeah.
And I think it's important to do that, right? Because candidate quality matters, right? And just because you're a Black individual running for office as a Democrat doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best fit for the people. And so I think that, working with Kimber Snipes, who happens to be our CD2 chair for the caucus, right, and setting up a criteria and a plan like we plan on doing in December to address next year's elections during their endorsement process. Setting that stuff in process and setting that stuff, and so that way we can follow up and actually have that candidate quality control for people who are actually going to support us in our communities in the way that we should show up.
It's important.
Precious McKesson in the chat says, for the first time since I've been with the NDP, we will have the DNC National Black Caucus attending events this weekend. They want to see what's happening in Nebraska. So
Nice.
a little attention there. Appreciate that. You said earlier that a lot of this support has to do with backing candidates as well financially. Since we have the treasurer in the chat, where the money coming from?
Oh,
The money
man.
right now is we went to donors, but I have been talking to Senator McKinney and Senator Spivey and a couple of other candidates. I mean, other people about how do we get our own money to work for us, even if we're going to the community and asking for $5 or $10 or a dollar, but that creates political power. We don't have to ask other people for money and then they don't feel like they can control us when they give us money. If we're using our own money, they can't control us.
Man.
So and just add a little bit to that too, right? Like the people that we've been going to recently is built off the relationships that I've been building for the last 5 years. Right. And so these are people who have invested in Senator McKinney's campaign, invested in Senator Spivey's campaign, right? And these are also organizations that invested into those campaigns as well, right? From Jonathan Lathan to the people that we see in our community runs for different offices, right? And so oftentimes it's about, especially as a person of color, it's about having that personal relationship with these donors, right? And communicating what we're actually wanting to have. But also making sure that we're doing it in a way that they don't feel entitled to be able to tell us what to do, in terms of our leadership, because that doesn't fly. I've worked on campaigns in the past, and I think I've said this previously, in which we received donations from people who invested in ankle monitoring. It was on Senator McKinney's campaign. And for instance, it was like, I want to say it was like a $2,500 check, but we sent that back. Right? And so realistically, right, it's all about the integrity of the people that you have in charge, right? To either accept money or deny it, or even to have the relationship to even be able to get into those rooms in the first place. A lot of times people forget that not only is it just the relationships, it's the effectiveness. If you could be effective in a room, people will talk about you and you ain't got to be there, right? And so the main job that I like to do is making sure that regardless of what people say about the caucus, or they say about me, as long as they say that we're focused on the money. Not on the money. Sorry, Red Precious is what's the name?
That's why you read
we're
the chat.
we're focused on the people, and we're focused on winning elections that benefit the people.
We focus on the money. No, it's
Hey, you need,
Right.
hey,
That's my
that's real
job.
though.
That's my
That's
job.
real. If you look at how the civil rights movement worked, it was, you know, entertainers, it was business owners, it was families who were donating and bankrolling. You know, Brother Martin Luther King traveling across the country ain't free.
there you go.
You gotta gas up the bus.
While we're on that subject of the funding, Majid Miller Jenkins in the chat says, in funding, how does the Black Caucus consider AIPAC funding? You got any words there? Also, a good question. Does the Black Caucus have a platform for or against AIPAC and the Democratic majority of it for Israel? You guys have any comments on that?
Yeah, I know that Precious and me have talked about setting up the Black Caucus's platform, like she's mentioned in the group chat. As far as the AIPAC, like, look, I want people to be aware that, like, we don't get that money. Our support comes from, like, Precious being executive director and executive director of the NDP. It comes from local labor unions, right? We don't take AIPAC money. And so, like, I want to make sure that, like, sometimes that when we're talking about politics, it can feel like we're talking about things that happen, but in reality, they're not happening on a local level, right? And so even then, hey, like, we're not going to do that. That's not my mission.
All money ain't good money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
comes with strings attached most times. Have you talked to anyone outside the state? Any you know, Black groups outside the state that are funding, or is there interest outside the state? You know, to see what the Nebraska Black Caucus is doing.
Yeah. Like, I know Precious was talking about how the Black Caucus, the DNC Black Caucus, is actually coming to town. We've have Harry Dunn actually coming in and supporting us with a fundraiser tomorrow. And I'm also part of this group chat with the Young Dems of America Black Caucus. And they're coming to Omaha in December to actually see what everything is about. And we're having a Young Dems of America convention here.
Okay. Okay. Well,
so-
when that time gets closer, let us know.
Yeah, I definitely will make sure I let you know and tap y'all in. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are interested about what we got going on here. I know a lot of other caucuses are starting to ramp up as well with us. And so it's been exciting to see in terms of the energy that we're getting.
Yeah, I know one way to kind of inspire people to, you know, reach into their pockets and support the thing is, you know, my earlier point as far as a platform. Of course, people will, you know, rally behind candidates that they like, but I do think people are more likely to get behind a platform. You kind of mentioned that, Precious, you know, you kind of conversation. Where are you in that process of coming up with a, you know, concrete platform for the caucus?
So we have a meeting this Saturday at the SEC, which is the State Central Committee. The Black Caucus is going to have that meeting at 11:30. I can't remember the hotel. Joel, do you remember the hotel off the top of your head?
It's the Hilton downtown.
Okay, is this public?
Yes.
Yes.
As long as you are a registered Democrat, you can come. I will even say that you're nonpartisan, but then we'll talk about it in terms of membership to the Black Caucus. You're free to join. It's a nonpartisan, but
Okay, that's interesting.
in this meeting, right, I think that it's best for us to start having these conversations as a big group, right? Because one thing I don't want to make sure that doesn't happen is that, for instance, either one person or two people write a platform, right, and then then the rest of the people or the rest of the caucus is just agreeing to it. I think that everybody needs to make sure they have a little bit of an input, so that way we have all have ownership of it. And so so I think like at SEC, I want to bring it up and talk a little bit about our platform, some of our goals, and things that we have coming up for 2026. Like I know in December we planned a strategic planning retreat for the executive team and members of the Black Caucus who wants to come. To be able to just talk about some of our planning for next year in terms of what we want to do for fundraising, what we want to do for supporting candidates, what we want to do for any platform changes, because I think convention is next year in April. And so, with that, it's a lot of opportunities for us to really start doing the things, but it can't be just one or two people doing it. It's like I'm gonna need more people.
Yeah. All hands on deck, man. That's really the time. It's all hands on deck. You got anything, Brother Joe?
Well, no, I was just going to piggyback on what Mike said. The strategic meeting is where the exec team is going to get together and come up with some targeting things that we want to target, and then we take it back to our our members, and say here's the guidelines for what we want to what we want to do. What do you guys think about it?
So those are the types of things members will vote on. I see Precious in the chat kind of giving some clarification. She says you can be a member as an independent, but you can't vote. You must be a registered Democrat to have a vote on the Black Caucus. Thank you for that clarification. Paul, what you got?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to remind everybody it's 8:11 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're now well in the second hour of First Guy Omaha in the morning. And we're here with Brother Mike Lee and Joel Childs from the Black Caucus, and we're having some discussion about what's going on there. Precious McKesson is also in the chat. I appreciate you guys' questions and comments. If you have any more, let us know while we have the brothers here for a few more minutes. We've been talking about this. We actually got this idea from Precious here, the 6 to dismiss. We've been talking about it for a while, talking about these seats that we're trying to get filled. She says 1 down, 6 to go, because Congressman Don Bacon backed out. Governor Jim Pillen, Senator Pete Ricketts, Congressman Mike Flood, Congressman Adrian Smith, Don Klein for Douglas County Attorney, Douglas County Sheriff Aaron Hansen. The 6 to dismiss is what we're calling them. And we would like to know if there's anybody black running against any of these folks. Now, we know that Michaela Danner just had her event yesterday, and she's going to be running for the seat that Don Klein is now. Who are some other names we need to be looking out for here in this next election?
I believe Michaela Danner is probably the best candidate to run for county attorney. I've known Michaela for a lot of years. I can't wait to just get out and knock doors and fundraise for her and just get busy. I told Mike yesterday. I said we need to make her our priority candidate.
Okay.
We need to make her our priority candidate. We got to get this win. Yes, all hands on deck, like you said earlier. We need to be all hands on deck when it comes to our people running, and our people who are running and supporting them and doing everything that they need. Even little things. Little things like maybe securing a venue. Just little things that we can do to help.
Support,
Word. Also, speaking of candidates, Precious in the chat, she mentioned a school board member. She says we have a black school board member elected in Hastings. Yeah, can you speak about that campaign?
I can't remember the sister's name at this particular moment, but yes, we do have a school board member in Hastings.
Right,
and there's a large amount of African Americans in Hastings and Grand Island.
Yeah.
See, Bud Crawford helping us answer the question: are there black people in Omaha? Now we're asking the question: are there black folks in Greater Nebraska? And you guys are coming and letting us know about different communities where that's happening. Your efforts in Omaha, I'm sure, are greater though, because that's probably where the greatest population of black folks are, and people that would be running, maybe more people running from Omaha. I'm assuming. Again, I kind of want to see if there's anybody out there. We're getting close to next year will be upon us very shortly in order to start making some stuff. And we don't really have names for some of these six to dismiss. Who's running?
We're still looking at somebody to run for sheriff because Aaron Hansen has to go. He's
Man.
egregious as an ex law enforcement officer. He's egregious.
Ooh.
We do have a sheriff, an African American brother running for sheriff in Lancaster County, Lincoln. I met with him last week. Great candidate, Jay Pitts. Great candidate. Kimmer and I rode down to Lincoln. I think it was Thursday last week to his campaign kickoff, and we got a chance to talk to him and really support him. We look forward to support him also.
Okay.
We do Omaha, Lincoln is where we're really focusing on, because that's two of the biggest Black communities. But yes, there's Black people all over the state. I keep saying that because I don't live in Omaha. I live in Blair.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So there's Black people here, and not everybody who walks around in Blair are my family members. People say that to me all the time.
So me and my cousins.
Man, I do want to kind of pivot to the national side of things as we're talking about, candidates being elected. Of course, there was a major just Democratic victory yesterday across the nation. Many Democrats winning. Of course, there's been the even in Nebraska, the pointing of the finger towards Democrats in the middle of the shutdown. I'm just curious. I haven't heard from Precious. I haven't heard really from our fellow Democrats. I think we did just speak to Senators Terrell McKinney and Ashley Spivey, finally getting their take on it. But how are you feeling in this current landscape, just as Democrats?
What say you, Brother Lee?
We talking about today. Today we feel good. Today's a good day.
There you go.
Today we got out the brooms.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited just because, one, I think that if New York was a test, right, for the party, I think that it was a test against establishments versus newer Gawd. And I think that it's something that, one, is important for the party to have these fights between the left and the right, but also to make sure that, like, when the left is not actually being eaten, right? And I say that all the time. Democrats eat their left a lot. Or they're young, right? When that's not occurring, right? I think that we can actually see some progress that we want to see. And I'm excited to figure out, like, one, I hope that Mondami is successful in New York. I'm happy about the centrists and the people who run in Virginia and New Jersey and in Georgia. I'm happy about Prop 50, kind of, right? Like, I wish that we didn't have to do it. But the political reality is we have to match fire for fire in this instance. And so if that means that keeps us close, right, of the 2 seats that are the 5 seats that they stole in Texas, then we have to do the same in California. And and I'm also a firm believer that, like, if we can't be as blue as we can in our bluest cities and bluest areas, then what are we doing? Right? The same things that work for New York is not going to be the same things that work in Atlanta, Georgia, or the South, right? And we have to be just aware of that. But I do think that there is an underlying thing current, right? People are frustrated with Trump. They're upset with the way the economy is going. They're upset with the way that the country just looks, right? I think overall, right? I think we're having a test of values, right? Which is interesting because, like, I feel like I became a little bit of a partisan person. But when I first initially got involved in politics, very young, saying Obama for your mama back in middle school, right? Like, I remember, at least to me, I remember them being able to talk about policies and issues, but having shared values, right? And I think that part is the most difficult to see that's gone, right? We're arguing with people who no longer don't believe in the fabric of democracy. And we have to be honest about that. Some things are just not going to be where we can get together. I'm happy about what we
Actually, on that point, I know we're running short on time, but I definitely have to touch on this point. First of all, I'm glad that you brought up Prop 50. For those who don't know, Prop 50 is a measure that allows a new map for U.S. House districts that favors Democrats in California. And of course, the situation in Louisiana, it has reached the Supreme Court. For those who don't know, again, Louisiana is kind of ground zero for an attempted dismantling of the Voting Rights Act, if you will, basically legalizing gerrymandering on a national scale if this goes the way that a lot of people feel it might go. What are your take on this and that situation as far as the Supreme Court goes in the Louisiana case and the kind of implications of the case? If you have no comment,
Okay, Joel, you go first.
yeah, either one.
I'm happy, like the way that the Prop 50 happened in terms of being voted on a ballot measure. I'm happy at least that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying that this is supposed to be temporary, right? That ultimately people are believing that it's going to go back. People are going to go back into their corners once Trump is done, right? But that is on the premise that Trump is going to be done. Is it like, I think like one is it's the things that are coming up and the decisions that are coming out of the Supreme Court is going to be very important, especially the Black and brown people, right? I know that they talked about if they reverse the decision on the civil rights, voting rights bill, and take out, the section where they're saying that basically race-based legislation is only temporary, and that we live in a post-racial America in which I don't know what they're talking about.
Man.
But I think that, like that is going to be detrimental to Black Americans and the Black diaspora voting here in America, right? Like, because it takes away almost 2/3 of the majority. I mean, I think I was talking about like 2/3 of the majority of Black and brown districts, but also if you look at the Black Caucus, the National Black Caucus, Congressional Black Caucus, it would decimate the Congressional Black Caucus, which is the largest caucus in the country. And so, they are doing targeted attacks against Black and brown people, right? Like I've talked to, like, whether it's ICE or whether it's our voting rights, whether it's SNAP and people's ability to pay and feed themselves, right? They are targeting regular people. They are targeting Black and brown people. They are targeting people who don't look like them or don't what they don't envision inside their America. And I fully believe that. And it's interesting, right? Because, a lot of these things, this legislation is veiled, right? They're trying to tell us that it's about something else when it's not. And so we have to be very intentional, right? Like one of the things that we're doing in the legislature and working with Senator McKinney and seeing the intentionality of policy making, right? It's how to be intentional to protect people while making sure that legislation best works to its best intent. So, I mean,
yeah. There you go. Appreciate it. And appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your thoughts here. Precious in the chat says, we've been recruiting for sheriff for the last 10 months. It's a hard race to recruit for because many of our qualified Black officers are so close to retirement and will take a hit for early retirement. This brings us kind of a full circle back to our area and the work that you guys are doing in order to find candidates. What's your marketing plan? What's the plan to get the word out? What are your efforts consist of when it comes to trying to find qualified candidates for all these positions that we want to get filled, especially the 6 to dismiss? We already talked about Ms. Danner. What are some other activities that you guys are engaged in order to drum up the folks that we need to run? Is there anything in particular that the Black Caucus is doing for that? And then I got another question for you before we wrap up here today. But right there, is there anything that is going on that you guys are doing for that push? And is there anything we can help with in order to try to find candidates for these seats?
Yeah, we just started a new committee, a candidate recruitment committee. It's going to be held up and led by Brenda. Brenda Council.
Brenda.
We're happy about that. But the party already does do outreach in terms of trying to find candidates. That's one of the things that Precious does. She does include the Black Caucus, whether there is a Black candidate that is interested for running for office. I usually make myself available, or Joel makes himself available to meet with the candidates one-on-one to really talk about gauging them, right, and their political interests and their politics, but also seeing if they're viable. Because just because you can run for something doesn't mean that you should. And sometimes we have to understand that as well as a people, right? Like not everybody needs to be running for everything, and we need people to be running for things across the board, right? And so, like I know that there are a couple of people who are planning to announce their candidacy. A couple of Black candidates announcing. I don't know necessarily when. I don't want to go out there and say their information, but it is people that you are familiar with. I think you'd be excited about their candidacy.
Let me jump in here real quick. You guys have a vetting kind of situation when you find these candidates and you sit them down to find out what their politics are. Are there some criteria that you go by? I know that a lot of people, especially like right now, I'm looking in the chat. Margie Miller Jenkins is asking, how can the Black Caucus encourage divestment from genocide in Palestine, Sudan, the DRC? Are there some rules and regulations, or not rules and regulations, but are there some vetting material? Is there some criteria that when somebody's trying to run, do you kind of run them through to find out what their politics are, and then maybe make suggestions on whether or not they should run based on those judgments?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's always the name of the game for Democrats is anybody who wants to run. That makes it more competitive, right? But it's also true democracy because you're not dictating who runs or not. Now, whether or not you get support from the Black Caucus, right? Once we do our endorsements and set up our vetting stages, something that Kimra has been very focused on and putting in place, right? For next year. Once that's done, then then we can support a candidate that we like, right? That was chosen by the Black Caucus and put money and dollars behind them. But as far as when we are talking to people who are interested for running for office, we're never going to tell somebody, no, you can't run.
Okay. So I see what you're saying. So whether or not you support them is the question. We're running short on time. So let me get to this last piece. I know that you just laid on us today that you're working with Senator McKinney in his office. And we just talked about this. Oh, that's not even the document I'm looking for. We just talked about this study that's coming up on Friday, Heart Ministry Center. Are you familiar with what we're talking about here with that? The Heart Ministry Center, a study that they've been working with Senator McKinney on?
Yes, the LR.
Yeah, I'm looking for the LR doc right now. Can't find it. Sorry about that. But so that's coming up here shortly. Oh, I know exactly where I put it. That's coming up here on Friday. Anything behind that? Can you give us any insights there? This is the LR.
Was it 73?
Is it 70? Let me see. It's
LR 173.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, there you go. 173. We've been asked to speak on some of these things too, housing, and you also put this question out to Brother Childs too, because you said you work in housing as well. Can you tell us anything about what's going on here with this legislative resolution? Since we won't be able to talk to Senator McKinney before this happens on Friday, Brother Lee.
Yeah, so I know that we have the hearing. I'm still getting caught up and familiar with a lot of the legislative resolutions. Senator McKinney went crazy this summer. But as far as I know, we do have a lot of people coming out in support of it. It's a closed hearing, I believe. As far as what comes out of the exec board and what they decide, in terms of how we follow up with it, just depends.
Yeah. Are you familiar with this resolution, Brother Childs?
I have not had a chance to read that resolution. I will say that I do work I'm a real estate agent.
Okay.
And I will tell you, I've been in the real estate industry since 2010, and this is the slowest I've seen. And I went to 2007. When the world crashed.
The crash.
I mean, excuse me. I started in 7. And I worked through it through 10. The world was just, crashing.
Right.
And this is the worst I've seen the housing crisis in our community.
Wow.
Because in our community, we definitely have to have the credit scores, our T's have to be crossed, our dots, have to be dotted. Because we don't have, most of us don't have, a mom and dad that we can go get a down payment from. We're saving for 2 years, or we're doing things for 2 years just in order to buy our first time homes. first time housing market is crazy right now. You know, the average house cost is over $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for a young people to just coming out and trying to buy their first home, it's impossible. You know, that's over, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 just in down payment funds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we have to come up with that. So, you know, here in Nebraska, there are some things that you can use, some different loan processes that you can use. But in our community, we don't know about those. You know, and often our community, we can't use some of those loan products because they're in, you know, the inner cities. You know, that's another.
Yeah, we don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole on that. I just want to make sure that it's being addressed. That this thing that Senator McKinney is doing is because of the fact that we have this housing crisis, and we have somebody here that's looking at it from behind the scenes, Brother Childs. This housing crisis happened, and I just wanted a quick word on that. I know that's not so much about the Black Caucus, but Mike Lee, like I said, you laid on us that you're working with Senator McKinney on some of these things. So I just wanted to get a little insight there. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up, man. There's a lot of other questions that we can get to. Well, go ahead.
Last thing, I got 20 seconds.
Okay.
Before my laptop retired. Tomorrow, the Black Caucus is having a fundraiser down in Noma from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
We have Chad Stoner performing. We have some guest speakers, Mary Ewing, Senator McKinney, Senator Roundtree. We got the great Kimra, and we got Harry Dunn.
Oh, there you go. He said 20 seconds.
Lavanya Goodwin.
He said Harry Dunn, then he was done. That's
Yeah, that part.
Harry Dunn, Senator Roundtree. Who else?
You said Councilwoman Goodwin.
Councilwoman Goodwin. Preston Love will be there. Okay. Senator Wayne is our speaker, one of our speakers.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so we the room is full.
Yeah,
it starts tomorrow at 6. This is how you can help us fund our candidates.
That's what's up.
You know, there you go.
Well, appreciate that. If you got any material, any flyer material, anything like that, put it in front of the First Guy Omaha or send it to us. We appreciate that. Yeah, your speakers are blowing us out there, Mike. We appreciate you guys coming on, man. We're running short on time. Okay, looks like you going again.
I think he's having computer issues.
I think so too. But again, we appreciate you. We'll have you on. We'll have you guys on another time too, and speak a little further on that. I think we got some questions on the vetting process that we need to address too. So we'll have you on another time to talk about that. But highly suggest you go take a look at the chat, answer some questions. If there's any way that anybody can get a hold of you guys to answer some of those questions, let us know so that people can contact you directly on that. And we appreciate that. Appreciate you guys coming, and I hope everybody comes out. What you said that was tonight? Tomorrow. Okay.
Man. I think it's $35.
Okay.
And a free will donation. You know, I always have to push the money because I'm the treasurer, but trying to do my job. But we have food, we food caterers. We have some drink specials, great music, you know, and great people speaking.
Yeah, heavy hitters, the heavy hitters in town.
Heavy hitters. You know, anybody who's African American and political in the state of Nebraska should be there. Tickets are $35 again. And, you know,
sounds good. Appreciate it. We appreciate you coming on. And like I said, we'll have you back. We'll continue this discussion.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one. Peace. All right. There we go, man. I hope we got some of those questions answered. And I appreciate you guys asking some of those other ones. We'll get to those. And it might be some things to reach out to them and ask them directly as well. But we'll have them back so we can kind of get deep into the conversation again, for sure.
I'll pull up tomorrow.
Man, Precious, appreciate you coming on in the chat this morning. I hope to have you on the show while you're still excited about what just went down, man. There's so much that went down over yesterday, just yesterday alone. You know, we're getting all this news. Mary Sheffield has made history as the first black woman, African-American woman in Detroit, 324-year history to become mayor of the city. Man. We got black mayors. We got new governors. We got, and then of course, you know, the man in New York City, It's really killing the whole game out here. Reminder: 26 billionaires have spent 22 million to stop Mamdani from becoming New York City's next mayor. I bet they mad they lost that money.
Yeah.
For real. 26 billionaires. That's a lot of billionaires. First of all, now, we only know the names of 3 or 4 of them in common discussion.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that so many people chimed up to try to make that happen. They feel like a lot of people are trying to act like it's going to be the end of America if this Muslim gets in, and here we are.
And probably the end of America as they know it. Again, you see the billionaires; they're chiming up. They're chiming up again, trying to take every penny from the people as you see it. Like why else would billionaires try to stop a self-proclaimed socialist?
There you go. There you go. Breaking barriers. Helena Moreno makes history as New Orleans' first Hispanic woman mayor.
Yeah.
Things happened yesterday in big way, and I appreciate the excitement that you had, Precious. She says Council Bluffs their first woman Democratic mayor in Council Bluffs. Really? Wow. Missed that one. Appreciate it. Yes, we'll definitely have you on. Like I said, we have no show on Friday. Just to reiterate, no show Friday. We have to skip Friday, but we'll be back on Monday. Perhaps we can have you on Monday, Precious, on a kind of Senator Cipher Monday. But we would love to talk to you about what's going on as well, because that'll be our in between situation there as far as Senator Cipher is concerned. But it's going down. She says the white rich are big mad this morning.
Man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, everybody who's jumping in. And we knew that we were going to have to discuss what went on. Even mentioned Brother Childs even mentioned a sweep that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of got up, and there was the news all over the place, sending a big message that they're tired of what's happening. I will take a quick break, man, and come back and finish out the show. We got about 25 minutes left in the show. A couple more things to wrap up and get to. So I'll go ahead and take a break. We can smell the coffee beans a little bit and come on back and jump in. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
My
name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Right near the beach.
Yeah, man.
That's where I wish I was.
Man.
What's happening?
I'm right with you. Just looking at the chat, a couple things I want to shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Move along. Mama Gawd asking a pretty good question. This is something that I've actually mentioned several times when talking about Democrats and Republicans. Of course, we know Turning Point USA is moving across the nation. They have the recruiting going on. Mama Gawd in the chat asking Black Caucus working on mentorship for young candidates to backfill Senator McKinney, talking about succession planning, which is actually, man, it's a big point. It's a huge point. Of course, it's not necessarily the short-term solution as right now we're looking for candidates to run right now. But, looking down the line, succession planning is important. This is actually right along the lines of a story that was reported out of Omaha World Herald recently. I don't know if many of you have heard about this, but apparently there's a kid governor. This is something that's sponsored by Civic Nebraska, who actually we've done some work with. Shout out to the good folks over at Civic Nebraska. Have you heard about this, Paul? Apparently 7 students are battling to represent the state's 5th grade class for a full year through the Kid Governor program, providing students a one-of-a-kind opportunity to run for and serve in a real statewide office of their own. Civic Nebraska introduced the National Civics Program created by the Connecticut Democracy Center, which in Nebraska was rolled out earlier this year, which is designed to introduce and immerse elementary students in hands-on civics lessons and real-life leadership opportunities. Again, Nebraska is one of 5 states participating in the pilot program so far. Other states include Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Oklahoma. Again, has anybody heard about this?
That's the first I heard about this. Yeah, interesting. Wonder how this is gonna go. I wonder what's going on there with that.
Yeah, again, the Kid Governor program gives young Nebraskans a powerful first experience in civic life. That's according to Juan Milan, who's Civic Nebraska's Youth Civic Leadership Program Manager. He says students are learning that leadership begins with listening, empathy, and action, and that every voice, no matter how young, can make a real difference. I think, as we see the turning points, and kind of some of the political ideologies dismantling democracy in front of our very face, having kind of that reverse indoctrination, if you will,
Mm, that's interesting.
for the people, for especially the young people, getting them civically engaged young before, rather than trying to engage 17 and 18-year-olds to vote for the first time. Kind of, Sister Kimra kind of giving us that blueprint, talking about how her family had elections and how that inspired her civic engagement. So, yeah, man, it got to start early. So, just, putting that out there for the people as we talk about succession planning. Let's not, wait till the last minute to find candidates. Let's start grooming them now. Start now. Start young.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Machine Miller Jenkins in the chat. First black anything in 2025 is so wild. And this level of modernity is shocking how many places are still withheld from BIPOC access. Anthony Rogers right. Black people suffering from high energy burden are in a good position to get some relief in Georgia. He's saying that of all the races, the Georgia races, to me, are the ones as exciting as Zoran. That's what's up.
Yeah.
The Georgia race is going on for sure. Everybody's I got a friend out there I didn't know that was living in Georgia, and she posted, she went and voted and showed some of the winners there. So that's what's up. That's what's going on. Appreciate that. Appreciate all your comments as well. It's 8:41 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. And we did have a few more things we wanted to talk about here. If there's anything that's on your hearts and mind, I don't know if we said this earlier. Any stories out there that you find interesting, you can always drop them into Friends of First Sky Omaha when we're not live. And if you can think of them what they are now, I would love for you to drop some links. Let us know. Some of these things that are going on. Of course, some of the big news of the day has to do with the sweep the Democrats had over across the country. The first Muslim, what he called himself, a socialist, democratic socialist, as the new mayor of New York City, which I think is interesting. And we'll see what the retaliation on this is going to be, because it's going to be some. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright bringing out some of the races in Georgia that were very interesting as well. We need to get some more information on those, and just a lot of that kind of information going on right now. Of course, in our area, it hasn't been any elections, won't be until next year. But we're already kind of chiming up. For those of you that missed it, we just had Brother Mike Lee on, and also Brother Joel Childs on from the Black Caucus, and we talked a lot about who's running, who's going to replace the 6 to dismiss. We would like to know, especially from the Black Caucus. It's really interesting to me that they will, when we talk to Precious talks about how they're not going to be having Democrats compete against each other, but the Black Caucus is something different. They can push who it is that they're pushing within the Democratic Party, and I think that's a pretty interesting thing as well. And I am anxious to know, just like how Machine Miller Jenkins and Anthony Rogers Wright and other people were asking, about this vetting process. Who do you decide? What we'd love to see how you decide who you want to back. That's a question that we will get to as well, and also who's all involved in the caucus as well. That was another question that caught my attention as well. I definitely feel that way too. I want to know. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've got to figure it out. I like that you're on this path of black leadership and political power, which is one of our lanes of change, if you will, flexing the political power. And Brother Anthony Rogers Wright is right on point with that. As we have had the Black Caucus on, we have to talk about that black political power. And I'm glad that Brother Anthony Rogers Wright is chiming up about what happened here in Georgia, because that's kind of my front line seat to how that played out, man. I'm seeing a lot of my DJ friends, a lot of people in the community, chiming up about this energy situation. Again, acknowledging the fact that there's been hikes in prices, 6 actual increases in energy bills over the last year and a half. So again, it's definitely getting outrageous. And what just happened here in Georgia is definitely an example of, again, Black people specifically chiming up, getting active, and flexing that political power. And another example, our brothers and sisters out of the Omaha tribe. You kind of going see where I'm going with this, Paul. Again, we talked about this earlier this week, but it's very interesting. This kind of political standoff, if you will, between the Omaha tribe and the state of Nebraska surrounding the marijuana and the Omaha tribe's attempt and not even attempt. They're moving forward with it. They're doing it again, legalizing medical marijuana and recreational marijuana for adults. But at the heart of this story, at the heart of this situation, of course, is a tax compact that would allow the Omaha tribe and the state of Nebraska to share funds that are raised from tax or from tobacco taxes. Again, tax on tobacco products. However, because the Omaha tribe elected to move forward with their legalization of marijuana, they received a call from the Attorney General of Nebraska saying they're pulling negotiations off the table. They're just not dealing with them. And actually, I was watching a report on WOWT last night, and what really jumped out to me was the fact that Omaha tribe, Nebraska Attorney General John Cartier, actually said that sheriffs and police forces of the state are patrolling and stationing outside of the reservation trying to catch people legally purchasing marijuana on the reservation, which made me think of something that Paul talked about as far as Nebraska being a prison state. And you taking consideration what's happening with NSP, taking consideration what's happening with the Cornhusker Clink, which I don't know if we have enough time to talk about, but again, they're reportedly saying that there's going to be 200 people in the Cornhusker Clink within the next couple of weeks. Where those people are going to come from, I don't know. Are they, expecting to catch a couple people trying to go out to the res? Man, again, brother Wells Lavelle in the chat, man. Appreciate you, love, brother. He said, can't wait to set up shop. Man.
Well, yeah. I hope it all goes well because they're definitely targeting. They got all the time in the world to do that. Target folks. I was just talking to somebody about that last night. I was just reminding myself about the conversations that we were having early on when certain states around us started legalizing marijuana. And whether or not it would ever be legal in Nebraska. And I just felt like it was far from it, bro. Like they would rather put the money in prisons and catch people coming in from other states and putting them in prison. I also got wind from one of the First Sky fam about the fact that this is a cash bond state. Another money grab. You get arrested, man. You can't just put up your mama's house and get bailed out. You got to come up with cash for that. So they love to catch somebody coming in from other states and put them in jail and do the cash bond thing and the whole thing, make all the money they can make. They would rather make the money with law enforcement than with than any kind of hemp or anything else that's going on that could bring other money into the state, which is real crazy. But here we are.
I got pushed back, Paul, on the language. We got to get the language right, bro.
Okay. Yeah,
they're not making money on law enforcement because that justifies what they're doing. They're making their money on human trafficking. That's what it is. Ooh. Let's call it what it is. They call it law enforcement to try to criminalize people trying to survive. Let's not accept the premise. That's not law enforcement.
Yeah,
what they're doing is not legal.
I should have put my quotes on because I definitely agree with you on that for sure.
What they're doing is not legal, so it's not law. They're breaking laws, is what they're doing. It's human rights violations. It's human trafficking, and it doesn't just stop at cash bonds. Apparently, shout out to the Nebraska Examiner for reporting on how the phone call situation. I mean, they're making money hand over fist on every angle, and I didn't even think about this until we had the conversation this morning. And now, Nebraska Examiner is reporting that the Federal Communications Commission has voted Tuesday to loosen regulations set just last year that would have significantly reduced the rates that prisoners, jail detainees, and their loved ones pay to keep in touch. Again, these people have to pay to talk. They have to pay to eat. They have to pay to do everything. How is this not slavery? How is this not human trafficking? I'm just asking. Shout out to Nebraska Examiner again for the report. Back in July of 2024, the FCC actually passed its first cap on rates that prisons and jails, along with their telecommunications contractors, can charge inmates to make audio calls. The rule, originally scheduled to take effect at the beginning of this year, set the rate at 6 cents per minute for a 15-minute call for large jails and prisons, far below the rates that most people were paying in Louisiana, where some parish jails are charging as much as 25 cents per minute. That's according to 2022. Again, how is this not slavery? How is this not human trafficking? But yet, here we are. And again, that seems like what Nebraska is all hell bent on investing in.
On all bunch of different levels.
Yeah, yeah,
Ice facility and everything and all of the above.
yeah. Which we do have to talk about that. I asked the question a little bit ago, but has anybody heard any whispers? Anybody hasn't really been reported? But again, Nebraska Examiner is reporting that the Cornhusker Clink is looking to accept its first detainee within the next couple of days. That's according to Governor Jim Pillen during a press conference on Monday. Again, and he says the facility is accepting the first federal migrant detainees at the state prison facility, quote unquote, in the next day or two. Pillen, speaking at an unrelated news conference, said the repurposing of Nebraska's Cornhusker Clink would include moving in the first federal migrant detainees this week. Pillen had previously said he estimated the first detainees to come by October 31st, but there was a little holdup. He again mentioned that they are expecting to have about 200 detainees within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And my question when reading this is just, where are they expecting these people to come from? Has anybody heard of any raids? Has anybody heard of any acceleration in ICE activities? And also take into account, the recent meeting between Chief Tosh Marder and the head of the FBI. Again, what's going on?
And if you leave it up to mainstream media, we won't hear a lot. All we've been hearing from mainstream media is about some of these high level criminals that they caught. They keep on catching these criminals and these people that are bringing in people on purpose to work illegally, and those are what we've been hearing from ICE when it comes to the mainstream media. But that's why we're talking with you now and putting out the call now on some of these things. We want to know: have you heard anything on the street? There's been low key arrests and raids going on here and there that the mainstream is not putting out there. We kind of got to have this discussion and ask each other and gather that news ourselves as alternative news gatherers, because of the fact that we're not going to get the full story from the media when it comes to those things, because they're going to go off of whatever the sheriff's office and the police department and the ICE department and everybody else is going to say they're doing and put that out, and they're going to go off of that press release and tell us what's going on. But we might pop up here and have 200 already, because you never know, because they've been going door to door or doing whatever. Yeah. So, we pay attention to those things. We got a lot of people that come on Friends of First Sky Omaha to say, hey, heads up, there's some ICE agents over here by such and such. We see those things all the time. So I have this feeling that there's some low key picking up of individuals going, that are not getting into the news. And all of a sudden you're going to pop up and have all these people there. So, I think that's been going on along with everything that's been going on to make this thing happen in the first place. Yeah, so, man. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and a little more information on that meeting with Kash Patel, again, the head of the FBI. Brother Anthony Rogers right in the chat is saying that apparently Sheriff Aaron Hansen was also at that meeting, and also the mayor's office had was not aware, had really no information about the meeting as well, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's what Anthony Rogers Rice says. I called the mayor's hotline and they were not aware of the meeting, which is very interesting. And all of a sudden it pops up where it pops up Man. Where we're seeing it. Man. Here in first ICE detainees in McCook. This is the picture of it. I don't even like how these people are wearing their jeans.
Man, you know what I'm saying? But with all that said, we got to look out. I think, what was it, 281G or whatever the agreement was to allow local law enforcement agencies to act as ICE agents and to get active. I mean, it starts with a handshake, starts with a backdoor meeting, and next thing you know, deals are getting cut. So again, look out for that. And we just got to stay on top of it, stay communicating, stay vigilant.
Katie L in the chat, appreciate your testimony there, says they are going door to door. Between August and now, I've been made aware of 4 raids that were confirmed by multiple sources. This is what we've been saying. We know this is happening. We know this is happening, and mainstream media is not going to be covering that. So I appreciate your boots on the ground coverage of that. We'd love to see more of that. She says they are also hitting small businesses. One was about a 60th and F. We already know about the food trucks that they hit, and some of the places that they went out on. Couldn't imagine that the activity had died down after they raided the packing plant and all of that, and that big publicity that happened with the women that they put in jail and so on and so forth. I knew that they were going to just tamp it down, low key, keep rolling with it, and that's what's happening.
Man, there you go. And the last point on that conversation, as we wind down the show, is the following the money. The economic side of it, because again, this is just another example of human trafficking. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about the dollars and cents with these people, not about the humans, not about the people that they're just cramming into this facility that's already overcrowded. But again, to the tune of $14.25 million, that's what Pillen cares about. Again, his office has estimated that the contract would annually net Nebraska about 14.25. Also, ICE has agreed to pay Nebraska a one-time lump sum of $5.9 million for quote-unquote facility renovation. So we'll see where that money goes. But again, the work ethic camp only has an operating cost of about $10.2 million. So they're looking to laugh to the bank with this situation. And again, here we are, implicit in human trafficking.
There you go. KDS says, yes, buddy. 287G. Thanks for bringing that back to attention. Also, living in the South O has appeared to be quieter. It hasn't been contained in South O only. Appreciate that very much. Kilo Slim in the chat. What's going on? Good morning. From QAnon to ICE agents. Shake my head. Stacey Jean says all about the money. It's so true. So true.
Most told you do the math.
So true. About 5 minutes left in the show today. Appreciate everybody that joined us today. Again, if you're just joining us and you missed any parts of the show or any parts of the interview with Brother Mike Lee and also Brother Joel Childs, please go back to YouTube and check it out, and Facebook as well. You can check out the chats when you're over there, and definitely highly encourage you to go back and listen to those interviews. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, there's one point that I wanted to make that is kind of germane to that point, as far as what the Black Caucus is doing, and just the need and the fight for Black political leadership in this country in the history. Responding to what Sister Majee Miller Jenkins had to say in the chat earlier, she says, "First Black anything in 2025 is so wild." As you read here, in this level of modernity, it's shocking how many places are still withheld from BIPOC access. And I was just reminded of the history. There's actually a documentary out on PBS. Again, we're all about strategic communication. Please go support NPR, go support PBS. And particularly in this conversation, they have a documentary called American Coup, Wilmington, 1898. Which talks about, again, African-American political leadership in the area of Wilmington, North Carolina, and how whites in the area armed themselves, burned down it was a coup. It was a whole coup. And so fresh of slavery, Black people in Wilmington, North Carolina, were able to get elected positions, were able to start businesses. It was a whole Tulsa situation. And again, it was burned down. It was attacked. So that history is still alive today. And when we see, the brothers in the Black Caucus doing the work, that's behind it. That's the shadows that they're working in, the dangers that they're working in. So again, big shout out to those who are on the front lines and all those supporting.
There you go. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. We appreciate everybody that came through. No show on Friday. Just to reiterate, no show on Friday. We're going to cancel this Friday show, and we'll be back Monday. Looks like we're going to be talking to Precious McKesson when we come back on Monday. So definitely stay tuned for that. But no show on Friday. Spread the word. This will be a good time for you to go to YouTube and catch up on previous shows and other interviews that you missed. They're all there on YouTube for you to go back and check out. And definitely go back and check out some of these things, because this is an ongoing conversation, and you can get some pretext and some insights on some of the things that are happening when we get to the current lives that we're doing, these live streams that we're doing. You'll be able to understand like where some of these things are coming from the continued conversation. Shout out to the Democrats having a good time here. We appreciate everybody. I see her being in the chat. Good morning, appreciate you. She says, "Rise of the Matriarch." I heard that.
All right.
That's what's up? Appreciate you guys coming on in. And shout out again, man, to Brother Mamdani. Zoran makes history as New York City's first Muslim and millennial male, not just mayor, not just millennial, not just Muslim, but also called himself a democratic socialist,
man,
which I really find interesting that you would label that. I heard a speech of him this morning saying, and I'm not apologetic about it. So we'll see what kind of socialist politics is going to be happening there. Also, this is interesting too. Omar Fattah could become Minneapolis' second socialist mayor. Is there a movement coming on here? Is there something happening? What's going on? Another Democrat? So we'll, some things to be peeping out, some things to see. And of course, we bringing it back down to our area. Precious McKesson, 6 to dismiss. Governor Jim Pillen, Senator Pete Ricketts, Congressman Don Bacon, Congressman Mike Flood. Bacon's out of there. Congressman Adrian Smith, Don Klein for Douglas County Attorney, which we do have somebody for. Michaela Danner is going to be running for that seat, and also
Don,
Douglas County Sheriff Aaron Hansen, the sixth to dismiss, as Precious McKesson called it. And it is something to think about. We got to start thinking about candidates. We got to start thinking about what's going to happen next year. This is all coming to fruition, and we want to keep the momentum. So we'll bring on Precious on Monday. She can tell us about her excitement about what went on with the Democratic Party this week and what the momentum is going to be like. Shout out to Mike Lee coming in from the Black Caucus and telling us about their efforts and what they're going to do too. We're learning a little bit more about what they're doing. And we got some more questions for them, but we will continue to ask those questions and continue to follow what it is that's going on there in that situation. We also would really love to talk to somebody that's on the independent stage, though, because if you know us, you know that we're not putting our faith in any one party, and we really need to be on this third party situation where we got some other options here and make that happen too. So definitely want to keep talking about that. And also in the meantime, we got to talk about mutual aid. We got to talk about where we're at right now, how we're helping each other right this minute in this moment. Because even with all of this kind of high level talk of these candidates and people running and all these politicians and so on and so forth, later for all that, we got to help ourselves. Like Buddy always says, we're all we got, but it's enough. And so the mutual aid conversation also has to absolutely continue. So again, Majid, if you're in the chat, I reached out to you again. We're still trying to get a date. Let me know if email is the wrong way to get a hold of you. Let me know. Hit me up on somewhere so we can get you on and talk more about mutual aid and continue that conversation as well. It's here and we need it. And this is how we take care of each other. And I'm sure that it's taken from the example of Black folks, Black culture in general, just taking care of each other from the jump, because of the way that this culture has been treated. This doesn't feel like anything new to us.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
Yep.
But I will say what is kind of new as we get out of here. Just Trump is thumbing his nose at the court order for So yeah, on that note, you know what I'm saying? I think there's still a food drive going on at Miller Park this weekend. There's still resources out there because although the judge just chimed up, Trump is chiming back up and thumbing his nose at the law.
Yeah, we said that Wednesday might be where your benefits come back. Ain't happening because he gonna drag it. He gonna drag it out. So again, it's a good time to reiterate. Like let's make sure we're keeping track of each other, helping each other, making sure everybody and their kids get fed. Regardless of what's going on with these benefits.
Man.
That's what it is.
On that note, Saturday kickoff, the Peter Pan Park Mutual Aid Distro in Lincoln. Again, Peter Pan Park Mutual Aid District. Shout out to Sister G. Miller Jenkins. I'm still looking for information on that Freedom Library or Liberation Library. Yeah. Also, RG, I see you, man. We're not trying to shortchange you, but Paul under the weather, man. Let's get up out of here.
What happened?
Yeah, RG, getting mad at us for getting out on time. He says, man, it ain't even 9 yet. Black Dynamite, come get your boys. They about to shortchange us. Come on, man.
How we shortchanging you when the show's supposed to be over at 9 o'clock?
Come on, man. Come on, they, man. Come on, man. Peace some slack, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you bearing with me through all the congestion and everything that's happened. I probably sound crazy on the microphone. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. I definitely took a little bit of allergy medicine before I started, so it did mean that I had to think a little bit harder on what words to put together. Heard that stuff ain't good. I've been hearing it. It's not good for you. It's not good for your liver. We need to get off this allergy medicine too, man, and all that. I got to take a trip to Africa and find some roots.
There you go. There you go. Plop, plop, fizz.
What a relief it is. It's 9:03 right now. We're going to get out of here, buddy. Were those your final words for the people? You got something else?
No, man. I appreciate our guest today. It's definitely a pleasure to have Brother Joe Childs on the show. And, of course, Brother Mike Lee. Enjoy speaking to those brothers. Definitely check them out tomorrow. It's going down at NOMA, 6 p.m. It's going to be star-studded, man. It's going to be food. It's going to be drinks. It's going to be entertainment. Are you going to be there? Let us know. So again, definitely shout out to everybody putting boots to the roots. And again, reminder, no show on Friday. So we appreciate your support. Definitely look out for the weekly wrap though on Friday to kind of wrap up some things, some thoughts, some ideas on this week, kind of recap. In the meantime, between time, catch the same time, same place, Monday, right here on First Kind Omaha in the morning. Paul?
In the morning.
Hey, with that, go ahead, take us away, man.
Right on, man. Appreciate you. Brother RG said, Beezy, be sure hit up Moss Lady. I'm definitely going to hit up Moss Lady, man. Shout out to Moss Lady for her love and support for our brother Myron, who went through something. So I appreciate her too. And we'll definitely get busy, man. Gotta make it happen. Yes. Appreciate everybody who's joining us. Pop says thanks for the great show. Feel better, Paul. Love to you and Buddy. See you on Monday.
Love,
Appreciate you
peace.
very much. Anthony Rogers Rice says I'll bring you some roots back from Brazil, Paul.
Okay, is that where
I'll
you at?
take them, brother. I'll take them.
Yeah.
I'll take them.
Seems like
Natural
her
herb.
being giving you some love too.
Yeah, everybody with the natural. That's what I'm saying. I want that. I'm tired of these man-made medicines that we are jacking ourselves up with. Since we're not going to see you before Saturday, I just want to reiterate this is happening. Mental health at the holidays, presented by Black Agenda Alliance. This is going down Saturday, November 8th, from 1 to 3 at Nelson Mandela Elementary School, which is at 6316 North 30th Street. You know where it's at. It's going to be hosted by yours truly. And we're going to be talking to Shalonda Rush, Peyton Hogan, and Morgan Price about mental health, man. And it's coming up. The holidays are coming up, and I can see people cracking at the seams, man. To be honest with you, I can see people kind of really, really worried about how they're going to do Thanksgiving. I even saw some people saying, hey, maybe we ought to just boycott all the holidays right now. Stop feeding into them, man, so we don't have that pressure. But, you know, there are some resources out there. Aldi's is doing a $40 full meal for a family. There's some resources out there, so people don't really got to worry too much about what's coming up with the holidays. But like I said, man, holidays is one of them times when people's fragile, you know, our fragile natures start to crack sometimes. So we're definitely going to talk about it on Saturday and try to see if we can figure out how to help each other and support ourselves through the tough times, man. I don't remember it being like this growing up in California. It has something to do with it getting cold. On top of that, it's wintertime, it's cold, there's pressure. The holidays is here, and you got to keep the heat on, and money starts drying up. And I used to work construction when I was in Cali, so that means if I was working construction here in the wintertime, there is no work. So there's a lot to be stressed out about when it starts getting cold out here. And we just want to make sure that we start. People are having a hard time, bro. I'm seeing more and more people having episodes and hurting and breaking down and crying and worried about how they're going to, have the holidays with their kids and stuff like that. Like, it's hard out here right now. So let's be here for each other as much as we can. And in mind, body, and spirit, and finances, and everything else that we got to offer. If we got any kind of break on one side of it, let's lean into somebody else that don't have it like that, and try to help them and keep this community strong. So appreciate you, and we'll definitely get busy over here in over the weekend. If there's anything that's going on you need to let us know about, put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We'll see you Monday when we speak to Precious McKesson on what the future of the party is going to be looking like and what we're going to do. With that, I think it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, I think so. Did some good today.
I like oh my God. I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
I was just saying, hopefully y'all learned something. What you got? What they talking about?
Oh my God. Maybe this is what we needed to open ourselves up to community support and love.
Man, it's time for Love Supreme.
The pressure, the pressure brings out the solutions, especially in our community. So you well said, Mama God. Appreciate you very, very much. Also, her being says mental health starts with families loving and healing generational curses.
Again, it's time for Love Supreme, man. It
is. Time for Love Supreme. Time for us to get out of here. You guys take it easy. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means